the ESG reporting is dead. You see that companies pulling out from it, so the regulators, and honestly, it's a good thing, because sustainability turned into compliance. You can easily see that in major companies, sustainability teams spend 80% of their valuable time filling these forms, sending it to each other. And what's bad about this is that it's absolutely disconnected from reality. Teams focused on copy-pasting data from document to document, not connecting it to what matters for the business, for their shareholders, for revenue, for real decision-making. And this disconnection actually is a massive problem for heavy industries like metals that actually powers energy transition, tech, defense. This cost is massive because they cannot operationally take decisions to make important improvements because teams are busy copy-pasting the data. That's why we built beSirius. With beSirius, we replace static reporting with what we call sustainability twins, living sustainability twins. It's an engine that captures all the data from companies' sustainability documents, you name it, reports, policy certificates, etc., and all the practices, and then make it reusable. It can fill any template, respond to any question, benchmark against any requirements or any standard, and gives and provides insight. At the core of our solution is what we call, you can think about it as adapter. So we have all your data and we can transform it to any requirement that is needed, being it banks, customers, suppliers, rating, etc., etc. But it goes far beyond this. And what's important is that it can understand what your clients are asking actually about, what's important for them. And this gives you unique knowledge about how you can tailor your product to them. And this connects it to revenue. And it's working. We already work with major companies, major metals and mining companies, and actually here should be one energy company, not yet today, not on this slide, but it's already our client, and they love it. Their team spent up to 30% of their working time on the platform, saving a lot of time, getting a lot of valuable insights. Our team comes from the industry. We know this industry deeply. We spent 20 plus years in metals and mining, building tools for leading companies as well. And once again, we are not building another reporting solution. We are building the data infrastructure for the whole value chain, from mine to OEM. And we connect sustainability twins to each other, making them talk and making sustainability strategic operational. Let's be serious.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you can go with the questions.
Hi, thanks a lot for the presentation. So to make this whole thing work, you need to bring a lot of different players on board them onto this platform, right?
Not really, because we start working with one company. That's the vision. The last slide is the vision, that we connect them. But for company to benefit from beSirius, all they need is all your data on the platform, and then you extract it in the way you need. So the vision to work, we will, we need the companies to be on the platform. But for you as a single company, you don't need others to benefit from it.
So what is the core value, key value that I can already benefit today from this product?
If you are coming from the industrial company and you have sustainability team, you dramatically cut the time that they spend on reporting, on disclosure, and on gaining analytics to fit, to shape your product, how you address your customers, or maybe what you tell to your shareholders.
45 seconds to go. Any more questions? Yeah.
Can you tell more about the revenue model? How much do you charge? How do you charge?
Yeah, revenue is quite simple. It depends on the usage. The more company use the tool, the more they pay. So it's, if you don't use, you don't pay. It's an AI-driven model, so it's I think it's quite typical in this AI world.
One more question.
Thank you for the pitch. My question would be, are you currently fundraising or are you having open round?
No, right now we're not looking for funding. We actually closed our round in last December. So for now we are good.
Okay, in which stage are you?
We closed seed, and maybe we'll be raising Series A closer to the end of the year or 2026.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, that will be all for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations for your speech. Let's continue with Siim Vips, CSO and co-founder of Bisly, Scalable Building Automation. Good luck.
Hello. Henry Ford made cars affordable, but at the same time more reliable. How was that possible? Through standardization. And this is what Bisly is doing with the building automation industry. We all know that buildings are consuming the most energy, and at the same time we know that building automation reduces 30 to 40% energy costs, but it's seldom used. And in fact, 95% of the buildings are not automated that well, and the ones that are don't work properly, and this is just sad. Billions are being wasted. And we realized that 80% of the building automation deployment cost is overhead, and it's being done by the local integrators. And it's much like coach building business was back in the day. It's just not scalable. So the pain is there. What are we doing about it? So we have developed and patented a single cloud platform which is working harmlessly together with our hardware suite. And it's also connected with the third-party equipment. Universal digital twin is used in sales, installation, commissioning, and support. And this allows to push the cost down, quality up, and maximize energy savings over time. And most importantly, it allows to scale to a wider installer base. The platform is designed from the cloud to hardware, meaning that we are able to keep all the buildings on the same software version. And this allows to keep the operational cost at bay. And at the same time, believe it or not, our hardware also scales. We have a dream team who is no stranger to building Estonian unicorns, and we are on a mission to building the next one. We are already dominating the local market, so we have actually grown the Estonian market 10 times, but the Estonian market is small. So at the moment we are focusing on scaling through channels in DACH region and UK market, which are established markets for us. And I really believe that building decarbonization to reducing carbon emissions from building is like a hidden opportunity and the possibility to save billions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the pitch. I think we've seen quite a lot of building management systems in around the sort of climate tech ecosystem. What do you see as your key differentiation point against the competition?
No, the thing is that our solution has been built from ground up with a mission to fill the gap of this 90% of the market who is missing out, meaning that we have built the system from ground up to reduce the costs as much as possible and making it scale so that you don't need to be engineered to sell, to install, and to maintain the solution. So it's like a standardized approach which is dramatically reducing the costs and enabling the deployment for the wider market.
Could you expand a bit on your go-to-market channels, or do you leverage any partnerships, or do you go directly to clients?
So initially the go-to-market was foot on the ground to come up with the best possible product. Then last year we transitioned to partner deployment, and now we're transitioning to channel sales as well. So basically channel-driven sales using not only automation engineers but security companies, low current companies to expand their business.
30 seconds. Any more questions?
Give us a sense of the kind of cost-saving potential.
So the cost savings, if you take the energy cost, then it's the same as it would with traditional automation, but it's just much more affordable. The closest competition is at the moment at least half more expensive. So we try to keep the capex cost for the buyer at the same level that they would pay for the stupid building, and this is helping us to scale rapidly. And then one more thing maybe to add is that we have really strong unit economics. And for every euro that we make on a hardware, we make 3 euros down the line on the software. So it's like a sustainable model. So we are scaling with the high margins.
Thank you very much, Siim. That will be all for today.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, let's receive on stage Doron Tamir, CEO of Lava.
Okay, so hi, Doron. 20 years in the renewable business. This is my second company. In my first company, I was a big developer for solar and wind. And then I came to the conclusion that solar, wind, battery is very nice. It can be part of the solution, but not the solution. The solution needs to be baseload, dispatchable, and stable. So, and we decided that the heat can solve the major challenges that we have with net zero. But the problem with heat is the red line. It's called isentropic expansion, and the meaning that when the gas is expanding, it's cooling down. It's not important, but this is the most inefficient way to have power. With isentropic, actually, turbines, steam turbine or acid turbines, gas turbines, air conditioning, heat pumps, all of them lying on this red line. This is the most inefficient way, and this is the only way. What we succeed to do in Lava, we develop a new thermodynamic cycle, the first to be isothermal. So now we can be much more efficient than the existing solution. So we can have new turbines, new heat pumps, new air conditionings, new compressor. All of them with much better efficiency and with lower price. So what we develop, it's a new thermodynamic cycle, and we are the best to convert heat to electricity and electricity to heat and cooling. Heat to electricity, heat engine, electricity to heat and cooling, heat pumps. Just to understand the power of this thermodynamic cycle, so if today we have 4,000 gigawatt of steam turbine around the world, with our thermodynamic cycle, we can generate 5,200 gigawatt. So the delta, it's 1,200, which is double of the US consumption for electricity. You can have a lot of application from long duration storage to heat pump for 200 degree to cooling of data center, to replacing gas turbine, to industrial waste heat. You have many. We're starting with cooling of data center and with waste heat. This is the beachhead. These are the two machines. The first one is the heat engine. The second one is the heat pumps. This is our first operational heat engine. It's already operational, fully operational, and we already achieved 80% from Carnot efficiency, okay, which is a world record. Till now, we've done our seed round, and we raised 20 million and another 5 million as a non-dilutive. Lately, we won the EIC in Europe, which is the most prestigious competition in Europe. We already have partners in the steel, in the data center, in the cooling, in utilities. All of them are T1. And next year, we're going to be fully commercial. So this is the EIC, what the juries think about or thought about our innovation and what we bring actually to the table. If I'm right, we can change all the energy market. Thank you very much.
Thank you, looks impressive. We need to rate here your team, so you didn't say anything, right?
So today we are a combination of excellence between the academy, leading by co-founder Professor Kamil Rothschild, which is 100% of his time in the company, which is very rare to professors. Okay, so we take several years off from the university. We are almost 40 people today. Most of them are engineers. So this is the team. And what is actually also important is that part of my team, Ormat is the world leader for geothermal and ORC turbines. So the VP engineering of Format, the VP project of Format is now with us.
Can you briefly lead us through like the mechanical implementation of your process? Because I mean, there's other, for example, you can build a Stirling engine, which is very efficient, but not scalable and not very But so, what's the secret sauce? What do you actually do to implement it?
Yeah, just to if we are speaking about Stirling, in the end of the day, Stirling is not isothermal. No, principle it's isothermal. Practically, it's not isothermal. Okay, it's adiabatic, but if you what happened? What is the problem with adiabatic or isentropic? That when the gas is expanding, it's cooling down. This is the base, the problem. What we done, we develop a new nozzle. It's just a pipe. Okay, so we take the heat. We doesn't care what is the source of the heat. It can be geothermal, it can be waste heat, nuclear, whatever. Okay, cold fusion. Okay, but we're taking the heat and warm up our liquid. The liquid is regular liquid. Okay, so we have the hot liquid is going into the nozzle, and then we inject another liquid. When it's going in, we have evaporation. So we have evaporation, so the liquids become to bubbles. Okay? When it's become to bubbles, if it was on the red line, it needs to cool down. This is the basic principle of gas. Expanding, cooling down. But in our case, all the surrounding, it's hot liquid. So because of the surface of the bubbles, they suck the heat from the liquid, so they are not cooling down, so they continue to expand. This continue to expand, this is exactly the moment that we move from the red line to the blue line, from isentropic to isothermal. And this is, then it's going out in a supersonic speed. We just took 6 nozzles of this kind, and it just rotates like a sprinkler. Okay? Heat, kinetic, electricity.
Thank you very much, Doron. We run out of time, so congratulations for your pitch.
Thank you.
That would be all. Time to listen to John Fox, Chief Operating Officer at Natrion, Inc. Good luck, John.
Thank you. Right, good morning, everyone. I'm going to talk to you about something that's inside every single battery. It's a piece of plastic, often referred to as a separator. Separators today are benign. They do nothing but keep the positive and negative parts of the battery apart. We have a problem with batteries because when they get hot, this piece of plastic melts and that creates a thermal runaway. And because the battery is relying on a liquid to transport the ions, that liquid can catch fire, and that's when we have all sorts of problems. The elephant in the room is actually the supply chain of separators. It's 91% dominated by the Asian market. We have invented a new polyethylene that is a drop-in solution that drops straight into existing gigafactories, and our material starts to become smarter. It acts as part of the actual battery, and it starts to get into the world of solid-state batteries, but today it also enables batteries to operate in a more efficient and energy-dense way. Without going into the detail, we can add 15% to today's batteries at an energy level without changing anything. So you turn up at a major gigafactory, you tell them you're going to make this improvement, and they put their hands up and say, we're not changing our process. The good thing is our material just drops in. They don't need to change anything other than use our rolls of material. The next thing you're going to ask is, well, it's bound to be more expensive. Well, funny enough, it is. But because of the 15% increase in energy performance, at a bill of materials level, we're 9% cheaper for a kilowatt hour of energy when they measure it at the cell level. What does that mean in real terms? It means your iPhone can start to use materials like lithium metal. Again, lots of other reasons why you can't use that today and why we can use it with our material. But you can see straight away, if someone adds 7 hours of additional charge time to your iPhone, you're going to start listening. Our goal today, we have a small pilot line that we've been using for the past year. It was repurposing equipment that was used previously by IBM. We've worked out how to make this in volume. We've placed orders for our first production machine, and we're going to be at 1 million square meters by the end of this year. We're talking with 4 of the top 15 OEM manufacturers for EVs, 1 of the major ESS players. We are a prime defense contractor in the US, and we're talking with the markets for consumer electronics. We've got a very strong team, we've got proven people, but more importantly, we're raising a 10 million Series A. We've got probably half of that agreed, and we're looking now to unlock additional opportunities within the VC markets. Thank you for your time. I'll take any questions.
Thank you for the presentation. Seems like this innovative solution has a lot of benefits, but you mentioned one that caught my eye a lot, the economical challenge you have. How the challenges right now we have with supply chain volatility affect your solution, and again, when it's not attractive by itself without this volatility.
So supply chain's a big, big challenge in this marketplace. It's, as I said, it's dominated by the Asian players. It's a push and pull requirement. We're engaging with the battery users because they will tell the big OEM manufacturers of cells that they want our product in their batteries. We're also talking to the battery manufacturers, so we're pushing and pulling both ends of that scale. It's a huge market. It's billions of square meters of material. Are we going to dominate it? Unlikely. Can we make millions of square meters? Yes, because the machinery can. It's a rinse and repeat model. However, we're then into the world of licensing and other discussions around M&A. So the longer term is you have to prove it, you have to show its manufacturability, and then the rest is conversations.
Thanks for the pitch. How compatible it is with current lithium-ion battery production lines? How easy is it to integrate it with those?
So again, it's about proof of concept. We have a small facility that makes cells. So we've taken our own cells to market and let people prove it. The graph I showed was actually independent testing from a major OEM who took our materials and dropped it into their own cells and came back with the results that we see, which is the 15% improvement.
Thank you.
Okay.
That will
Thank
be
you.
all. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay, let's continue. Let's welcome Alessandro Minori, CEO and co-founder of Pipein. Pipein? Yes. Pipein.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I am Alessandro, CEO and co-founder at Pipein, a startup developing a robotic solution for pipeline inspections. In Europe and North America, there are over 50 million kilometers of pipeline, and many of them are approaching the end of their useful life. And this is why every year, over 10 trillion liters are wasted due to pipeline failures, and pipeline operators spend over 200 billion euros trying to fix this problem. And this happens because pipelines are invisible infrastructures. They are old, and there is not data about the actual condition. And so operators cannot properly collect and leverage maintenance data to prevent the waste of natural resources and disasters. So at Pipein, we are tackling this problem with our solution that is called Deep Diagnostic System. It's a solution composed of 2 parts. A submersible robot that inspects the pipeline from the inside, linked with a digital platform that allows operators to switch from the current preventive approach to pipeline maintenance to a more efficient predictive one. How does it work? We perform the inspections, then the data are aggregated with other maintenance data that are already owned by our customers. We create a shared dataset, we process it, and at the end of the day, we provide a final report containing the risk of failure of each pipeline segment we inspected. The total market, considering pipeline with a diameter larger than 20 centimeters, could be valued at 50 billion, and the main industries are hydropower, water and wastewater, network, manufacturing industry, oil and gas. we offer right now we offer a B2B inspection service that will evolve into a subscription-based model where the customers will pay a recurring fee for accessing the data on the platform, while the inspection will be provided at the discounted price. About the traction, today we are already working with some of the major European utilities. We just signed contract for 100,000 euros, and we project to reach 800,000 by the end of the year. And we are very happy because they choose us for inspecting and maintaining one of the most critical and difficult assets. Our technology can operate at higher pressures and for longer distances compared to the competitors. Moreover, our robots are easier to deploy in confined spaces, and we can give stronger predictive maintenance insight given to a powerful integration between the hardware and the software. Right now, we are raising a 3 million round to make Pipein 10 times more scalable and 3 times more capable. And we're actually looking for 1.5 million ticket because the other part of the round is already committed. Till now, we raised 800,000 euros. We filed 2 patents, and we developed a product that has a TRL 8. And we are lucky because we can count on a team of skilled engineers who believe that the future for sustainable infrastructure lies in robotics and AI. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation, and seems like a massive market and interesting areas you focus on. Can you share a bit about how the actual robot can inspect without damaging what is going on? I know it's a challenge by itself, and maybe share a bit more the technology and the right edge you have behind it.
Yes, we leverage what is called non-destructive techniques. So we have different sensors, but for measuring, for instance, the corrosion inside pipeline, we use ultrasonic sensors. This kind of sensor work not in contact with the pipe, but allows to measure the thickness. And of course, if after a while the thickness is less than the nominal, then probably there is a problem.
Thank you. Hi, thanks for the pitch. I imagine it's a slow-moving industry where you're moving into. How's the sales cycle like with operators of such pipelines?
Yeah, actually it is, because our customers are utilities, often public utilities. So there is a lot of call for tender, vendor qualification stuff. But what we see is that we developed a unique combination of the technology that allow us to inspect and to provide a solution to very challenging tasks that has not been solved since the 50s. So once the utilities see this, the sales cycle reduced a lot. Last year, it took us one year to close a contract. Now we see that after testing the technology in the field, after successfully completing some pilots, this time is reduced up to 3 to 5 months. So it's slow, but it's improving.
Thank you very much. Congratulations for your speech. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's continue with Mark Verhagen, CEO and co-founder of Rift.
"6,000 industrial plants across of Europe cannot decarbonize. They want to, but they cannot. Even considering hydrogen and electrification, often the prices are too high or the infrastructure is not there." I'm Mark Verhagen, CEO and co-founder of Rift. And we bring a third alternative to the table: iron fuel. Iron fuel is a fuel which is completely grid independent, safe and carbon free, which is burned in an iron fuel boiler system in a plug and play kind of manner at the customer facility to create clean industrial heat for a cost price lower than those of fossil fuels. We're focusing on the industries which have the highest industrial heating pricing: food and beverage, paper and pulp, and special chemicals, 5 megawatt boiler systems installed. A customer buys an iron fuel boiler system from us with a 15-year contract on the iron fuel take-or-pay conditions. This fuel is coming from a Rift-owned iron fuel production locations. Therefore, our business model is quite similar towards the petrochemical industry. One fuel location provides multiple boiler locations from its fuel. The partnerships are already there today. 4.5 years ago, we started off with a company. From the lab, we went to bench scale, towards industrial piloting, prototyping, and currently we are at the demo scale. Those systems are operating on a daily basis in industrial context, and this is the last testing system that we will build. Now we are moving towards commercial implementation, with already 2.8 billion euros in LOIs contracted, and also contracts in the pipeline to be announced. The implementation will be around 2027, and we will do this with this amazing team of 60 people, which we have in the team, and major corporate partners supporting us. Our previous investment round was led by PGGM, one of the world's biggest pension funds in the world. And we will be starting raising in the next 3 months again to realize the first fuel plants ever in the world. Those 6,000 plants which cannot decarbonize, we can help them decarbonize. Iron fuel is real and able to scale today. Thank you.
Thanks so much for the pitch. You said you're planning on fundraising again. Can you tell us a bit more about the upcoming round and what would be the use of proceeds?
Yeah, so it will be our Series B. And the Series B will be structured in one part on topco level and already pre-commitment of the fuel plant. The topco level will be 30 million and the fuel plant commitment will be 80 million.
Can you take us through your business model and kind of I mean, you said about the business model before, but the kind of margins. I mean, energy is typically a low margin business in a sense. So what is your cut on this and is it comparable? Is there a green premium in it?
Yeah, so from a customer perspective, the customer implements an iron fuel boiler system cheaper than natural gas pricing. So from the customer perspective, there is an energetic green premium. On the boiler system, we make a 30% margin, equipment based, 2.5 million euros, 30% margin. And on the fuel, which is delivered for 15 years with the take-or-pay, a 15% margin will be charged. And the total fuel contract, depending on the customer, is 50 million until 100 million per customer.
"30 seconds to go. Any more questions? 35.
Thank you. Oh.
Just then the economic follow-on question. So there is no free lunch. So how can you provide a fuel? You obviously have to regenerate it somehow and you need the heat for it. So how can you regenerate that and at the end provide energy at costs lower than the natural gas? Like where do you take that energy from?
Yeah. So during the combustion of the iron fuel, ashes are created, which is iron oxide, that is transported back towards the fuel plant, which is regenerated with a low carbon hydrogen at the fuel, producing iron fuel. But we can dive into the economics way deeper if you are interested. Yeah.
Okay, time's run out. Thank you very much. Congratulations for your speech. Okay, let's move on and welcome on stage Fridolin Franke, co-founder and chief growth officer at Solar Materials GmbH.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, hi everyone. My name is Fridolin. I'm one of the co-founders of Solar Materials, and our mission is to transform the solar industry into a circular economy. Solar panels are the fastest growing electronic waste stream globally, and right now there's a lack of infrastructure to recycle these solar panels. And this is mostly due to the lack of a sufficient technology to really recover all materials from the solar panels. What's currently happening, beside what we do, is classical recycling approach of shredding and sorting, and with that you can recover the glass, the aluminium and the copper, but you cannot really recover the functional materials of the solar cells, so the silicon and the silver. And with that also 50% of the raw material value is lost. This means that the recycling is quite cost intensive, and this leads also to solar panels landing up in landfills instead of being really recycled and the raw materials getting back into the circle. Our focus is especially on the recovery of the silver as key value driver. And what we developed is more like a reverse production line where we focus mostly on mechanical process steps so that we'd have a lower capex and also opex compared to, for example, chemical processes, and we don't have any bad environmental impact. What we developed is more like a hub system so that we can do the pre-processing at several locations spread over Europe, where that we can reduce the logistic distances for our customers, reduce their logistic costs, and secure a lot of volume. So just last year, we established ourselves as number 2 in Germany already with over 6,000 tons, so that's 600 truckloads of solar panels contracted. All of these solar panels contain around 4 to 5 million euros worth of raw materials. We are 3 co-founders. We're young co-founders, we know, but we have really a lot of speed with everything what we do. So we founded the company like 3.5 years ago and went from really demonstrator stage to the first industrial recycling line, which is right now in the final commissioning phase. So we already process with that industrial recycling line like 1 truckload per day, and we'll ramp it up until end of the year. And then, due to the large demand from the market, we plan to further increase our recycling capacity. In total, our team is now over 40 employees, and we established a middle management so that we get more experience on board. So we now have head of finance, head of R&D, and also a site manager to take care of the recycling operations. Until end of 2026, we will increase our recycling capacity by 5x, so to 35,000 tons or 1.7 million solar panels per year. And with that, we will become Europe's biggest solar panel recycler. For that, we raised 28 million euros in our Series B round, whereof most of it, so roughly 20 million euros, is already fixed. And now we have an open ticket, co-lead 5 million to single lead, like 8 to 10 million euros left. With the funding, we will increase our capacity at our site in Magdeburg in Germany and also establish a first recycling plant in Italy, a second largest market for solar panel recycling in Europe. The plant in Italy will be established as a joint venture as first step to a more like project financing approach so that later on we can grow more asset light instead of financing all recycling plants on our own. So the joint venture partner is a large asset manager, and they take care of 50% of the capex right now already, and then the plan is to raise a further fund for the global expansion of our business. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for the pitch. Can you talk us through your business model and maybe also mention a little bit about the key partnerships that, maybe if you can, you work with already?
Happy to do so. So we have a two-sided business model. We offer the recycling as a service to large solar park operators or collecting schemes. So we charge a recycling fee, which is a bit below market price. The big advantage of our technology or our business is that we would be profitable without that recycling fee. So to really secure all volume, we can basically offer it for free and still would make money of it. So on the input side, our customers or key partnerships are O&M companies and solar park operators. And then on the output side, we sell our raw materials to the industry, so to glass smelters, aluminium smelters, refineries. Welcome.
Thanks for the pitch. You mentioned you could potentially offer it for free as well, where for recycled panels. In what scenarios that would be the case, and where there is a cost involved, what is that sort of compared to current recycling measures?
Yeah, so right now our competitors charge around 100 euros per ton, and so that's like 2 euros per solar panel. And yes, large solar park owners are really price sensitive, so if we offer it like at 85 euros, then we get the volumes. And yeah, if we grow that aggressively, we could also offer it for free because based on our raw material revenue, we would be profitable. So if it's needed at some point, then we would, of course, have a lower margin, but still can secure all volumes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks for the presentation, and it's great to see the market and your involvement during a short time. I was curious to hear, since there is kind of ambivalent and challenge also the emission during the recycles. Can you quantify or have estimations? What are the emissions during this process?
Yes. So since it's a mostly mechanical process, so at some process steps we also use a bit of heat, but still low temperature. So per solar panel we consume below 7 kilowatt hours, and beside of that we don't have any gas emissions or anything. So yeah. So no real environmental impact.
No more time for questions. Thank you very much, Fridolin, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, closing the third and final pitching session of this morning, Beltran, Berrocal, co-founder and CEO of Zero Labs.
Hello. Gracias. Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Beltran from Zero Labs. At Zero Labs we turn renewable energy from a complicated hardware problem into a very simple digital solution to accelerate its adoption, specifically by the Scope 3 supply chain of the world. And the other one, sorry, the big one. In the past 7 years, we built every kind of software for the energy industry. We worked with grid operators, multinationals, big utilities. We also worked at the Clean Energy Buyers Association with the chief sustainability officers that today are our clients. And we all know energy is the biggest problem, but if you look deeper, there's a huge invisible problem. More than 88% of emissions are indirect emissions caused by the supply chain or the use of a product in a company. So this is important. More than half of global emissions are hidden away in this category, untapped by decarbonization today, caused by the 400 million small businesses around the world. But for these people, I've manufactured with them and for them also, it's hard to take climate action. They don't have time, they don't have money, they don't have a roof where to put solar panels sometimes. They want this simple, stupid solution, and this is what we built for them. A SaaS solution that in 5 minutes decarbonizes 80% of their emissions, provably for all the parts. And with this new building block, digital energy, we built 3 tools, 3 solutions for now. A SaaS platform for the sustainability departments of large corporates to simplify their operations. What you're seeing here is a Fortune 500 managing with 2 PPAs, almost 1 terawatt hour, managing automatically 50 factories in the US. Something that it was taking them 4 months of 4 different people, we did in 2 hours, and now they can just simply see it flowing through and do more impact. The second thing, enhanced energy, enhanced by fractionalization and green proofs so that everybody can see it. And we found a new way to embed sustainability or clean energy into a company's products and services to turn sustainability from a cost into a new revenue stream for our clients. With this solution, we already decarbonize cloud and data centers, real estate, we experimented with batteries, we are experimenting also in the EVs and fleet space and charging point, we decarbonized events. And through a partnership program with MasterCard, we recently found out there's very interesting opportunities to reduce finance emissions for banks and financial institutions. We already processed more than 3 terawatt hours for more than 2,000 buyers around the world. And yes, clients and sustainability VIPs love what we're doing, and even PwC likes our automated reporting solutions. Right now is the time to act, even in facing the global political headwinds against decarbonization. More and more companies want to be net zero companies, and decarbonizing and helping their supply chain, small businesses use and adopt clean energy is the fastest way to reach to the goal. So we are fundraising, I can talk to you more about that, but whether you're a company wanting to accelerate your decarbonization or an investor, we'd be happy to help you get there. We invite you to join our mission to zero emissions.
Thanks for that. I imagine a substantial amount of emissions are coming from emerging markets supply chain.
Yes.
How do you deal with that?
Well, our go-to-market goes through the large corporates who deploy it in phases through that, but we are a global first company. If you have to open a new operation in a place that is not sanctioned, we can help you there, out of the box.
Thank you for the pitch, and it looks like you've made good traction to date. I suppose my question, we've seen a couple of startups in the Scope 3 emissions space. Where do you see the right to win? What's the most important product differentiation where you'll be a winner in this sector?
Yeah, so I briefly mentioned, I'm a designer. I had also a manufacturing company in the past. We worked with several around the world. I know how they think, and I've been speaking with a lot of them. And as a designer, I build a solution of zero friction for them to adopt, right? So that's one of the differentiating factors, first thing. But yes, if anybody wants to tackle the problem, that's the biggest problem of the sub-problem. So we are all welcome to confront solutions. The others, I don't know which one you specifically mentioned. If you want, maybe we can compare. But these people, they will act if their corporate asks them for. And after we gather that intelligence, we can help them onboard onto the other solution. Maybe we're even working with some of the ones that you are mentioning to bring traceability into the mix as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.